So I have my Vite project already running, and I'm going to be installing Chakra UI into this project right now. So open up my terminal and I run the command pm install at Chakra UI /react and at emotion /react. This is using Chakra UI version 3, and these are the only two libraries that we need to install into our project. Now that's done, and we also need to install snippets into our project. Snippets are pre-built components that you can use to build, user interfaces a lot faster. So to use snippets, the first thing is you want to ensure that you're using Node version 20 and above. So I'm going to specify my Node version to be 20 and above. So I'm just going to run the command nvm use 20. Now using Node v20.11, perfect. And I run the command npx at Chakra UI /CLI snippets add. So this is a CLI command to install snippets into our project. Perfect. So it has added snippets into our project under the components and UI directory. We have all of these snippets available to us, and we'll be using a couple as we go ahead to build. So let's continue our project setup and installation of Chakra UI. So now the next thing we need to do is to import and set up the provider component at the root of our application. So we close all of this and go into main. So I'm just going to import provider from at components /UI/provider. Right now you notice it's throwing an error, and we'll fix this shortly. We take out index.css. We're not using it in this project. To fix this error, we're going to make a couple of tweaks to our tsconfig and viteconfig files. So we go into our tsconfig.app.json file, and in here we're going to add a new property, which is parts. And we're going to define this, which just tells us the path aliases for imports in our TypeScript project. We are nearly done with our setup. The next step is to install tsconfig parts, and this automatically syncs tsconfig with Vite. So we do this using the command pm install tsconfig parts. Perfect. So right now we can go into our Vite config and update it with our tsconfig parts that we just installed. And we update our plugins array with tsconfig parts. If you ever get confused and you're not too sure about the steps to complete the installation and setup of Chakra UI in your project, not to worry, we have all of this documented, so feel free to check out our docs for proper installation guidance. Alright, so let's go back to main.tsx. I see it's throwing an error because we almost forgot to wrap our app with our provider components that we installed. So don't forget this in your own process. Always ensure to wrap up with the provider that we installed. Right now, everything looks really good. So what I can do is to remove my index.css files since I won't be using them. I'm going to app, remove this, and just clean up my project generally. Use box. Hello from app. Remove all of this, take them out, remove the unused imports. And I start up my server to see that everything works perfectly. Like to see hello from app. So this way we've completed the installation of Chakra UI in our Vite project, and we are now ready to start building our ChatGPT interface.